I'm Gene Grant here in the studios of New Mexico PBS with our Line Opinion panelists, getting ready to talk about some of the top news stories this week. But before we start, we ask all of our panelists an off-the-cuff question as a warm-up. Now, this can take up to 10 years for this flower to bloom. It smells like rotting flesh. Maybe it's a blessing that after the first time, the corpse flower I'm talking about only blooms every 3 to 4 years. But the smell isn't stopping those flocking to the Tucson Botanical Gardens to see Rosie, that's the name, in all her blooming glory. Have you ever been up close, Andy, I'll start with you. Have you ever been up close to something like a corpse flower and ever find yourself attracted to it? Like, why would people stand in line for this thing to lean over, smell it, and be horrified and run out the door? It's an amazing thing.
I don't think I would find myself in that group of people.
Right.
Maybe it's a novelty thing to say, because it only blooms so much, to say I've actually seen one, and yes, I know what it smells like, but now I'll stay home.
Right. You know, Christine, it's a part of nature. Not everything can smell like roses, so to speak. But
and
you know
that
what I mean?
Sonoran Desert is so beautiful and lush. I know people don't see deserts as lush, but when I was at the University of Arizona as a visiting prof for a while, I got to know that desert, and I didn't see that flower, but I sure saw those little bonnets on those saguaros.
Oh, sure.
And I loved hiking.
Yeah.
Not in June, July, August, but other months. It was great.
Everything's in bloom in that part of the world.
It's beautiful.
All year round. Allergies, I mean, all that. But it is beautiful.
Yeah, allergies were there.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. Tom, your olfactory attractions, do you find, is it a thing for you, say like food? If the smell doesn't hit you right, that's it. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, well, to each his own. And what, you know, for me, I can pick out barbecue a mile away.
There you go.
I smell it, I go, is that mesquite or is it pinon? And, you know, and so I'll just kind of start walking down the street, you know, trying to find the source and stuff. But I probably would not be like Andy. I wouldn't necessarily stand in line for a chance at the smell.
I have another thing for you, Tom, before I get to Sophie. On this, the University of Oxford has revealed that if one were to visit the planet of Uranus, it would smell like hideous rotten eggs. Or sulfur, what is it called? Sulfur something or other, whatever happens with eggs. You know what I mean? Smell. Dioxide, that's it. You see what I mean? This is a problem, this smell thing. We need to get past this.
It does. And I would challenge that the whole University of Oxford is just a setup to get us to say Uranus.
Right, exactly. They determined to pronounce it their way. That's right.
And I don't know. I think we're being punked on this one. I really do.
Because who's going to know otherwise, Sophie? You know what I mean? We're going to get a drop team together to go figure out if it does smell like eggs. You don't have to do that.
You can do sort of, you know, chemical analysis using refraction of light or something like that. I'm sure it's something like that.
Right, exactly. Now, would you go to Tucson? Would you and your husband drive to Tucson for this?
You know what's so funny? I'm sitting here thinking, I don't have anything to do this weekend, maybe. But the other thing I was thinking is how fortunate we are in Albuquerque that when Tom Popejoy, former mayor of Albuquerque, who introduced the dread Chinese elm to our city, he's the one to blame in the first half of the 1900s. Thank goodness he didn't decide instead that the corpse flower would be the perfect thing to plant all over the city of Albuquerque. We really lucked out with that one as much as the Chinese elm.
Actually, your window this weekend is probably closed. It only blooms for 48 hours.
You know what? It might be better that way.
It might be lingering though.
No. I mean, it might be better to be like, oh, there it is. I don't smell a thing.
Right. Our executive producer, Kevin McDonald, came out and showed us a picture of this flower. And the irony is it's kind of pretty. And smells does not exactly go with, visuals and vice versa. You know, it's kind of an interesting thing.
Maybe it's one of those things, though, that it's like so pretty.
Right.
That it's so pretty that it needs the smell to repel predators or something. There's something that, evolutionarily that made it work.
That's right.
Yeah, it provides the yuck of yucca.
What a beautiful ending note right there. Tom Garrity, the yuck and yucca. See you next time.